Every economist who's looked at it has said that the recovery did its job. It put a brake on the collapse of the economy. We avoided a Great Depression. We are now growing again. The problem is, number one, it's hard to argue sometimes things would have been a lot worse. Right? So people kind of say, yeah, but unemployment's still at 9.6. Yes, but it's not 12 or 13 or 15. People say, well, the stock market didn't fully recover. Yeah, but it's recovered more than people expected last year. So part of the challenge in delivering this message about all that the Recovery Act accomplished is that things are still tough. They just aren't as bad as they could have been. They could have been a catastrophe. In that sense, it worked. Now, the other reason that it has generated some controversy is, for example, I just pointed out the fact that 95% of you got a tax cut, and most of you didn't know it. Most of you didn't know it. Now, the reason you didn't know it was because it turns out that economists will tell you if you give that tax break to people each time they get a paycheck, as opposed to in one lump sum, then they're more likely to spend it, and that is a better way to stimulate the economy. It wasn't a good way to advertise the tax cut, so if I had been just thinking politics, I would have sent you one big check with my picture on it and said, here's your tax cut. In terms of infrastructure, it turns out the way we structured this, because we knew this was such a bad recession that 2010 would still be pretty bad, even though it was better than 2009, we structured it so that not all the money was spent in 2009. Some of it was spent this year. So a lot of the road projects you're now seeing are part of the Recovery Act we passed last year, but last year everybody was looking around saying, how come we haven't created more jobs yet? But we structured it because we knew that we didn't want it all to be front-loaded and not have anything and have it run out too quick. Now, here's the last point I want to make. Last point I want to make. Having said all that, I'm still not satisfied with where we're at. We're growing at about 2.5, 3% growth. We need to be growing at 4% or 5%. So there are still more things we can do.